They've hooked an entire generation of new users.
It's like my body needs a hit, it needs a rush of nicotine, I need it now.
Electronic cigarettes, or vaping, a high-tech delivery system for one of society's most addictive drugs, nicotine.
Kids are using them, little kids are using them.
I told myself, I'm addicted, like literally addicted.
Some argue they can save people's lives.
They help people quit. They're substantially less harmful.
I'm convinced this product can have more impact than any other product in the marketplace today. My goal would be to cut the smoking rate in half in the next 5 years.
But opponents see vaping as a modern-day epidemic, wrapped up in brilliant marketing aimed at kids.
Me and my friend used to be obsessed with like juice box flavor, gummy worm.
Their ads absolutely were targeting young people. Lots of color, lots of bling, music.
Anybody who thinks it's a good idea to hurt our children, shame on them.
How a tiny cloud of vapor has ignited a firestorm of controversy.
There's a voice in my brain that's telling me to do it, and it's very hard for me to like say no to that and just not go out and just get it, because honestly, it's not that hard. I could go out and get some and be back home within 20 minutes, 15 minutes. It's hard to like say no to myself. My name's Philip Furman. I'm a sophomore and I live in New York City.
Philip started vaping in 2017 when he was 14 years old.
It was after school one day. At the end of 8th grade, it was like, my friend just showed it to me. I didn't know what it was. He explained it to me, and then I just tried it.
It was an e-cigarette, a brand named Juul.
He literally said, "Here, try this."
Yeah, but he told me what it was, but like, he didn't know what it actually does to you.
The first electronic cigarette patent was filed in the U.S. in 1963. A battery-powered device heated flavored liquid to produce vapor, a design that was the forerunner to e-cigarettes that appeared on the American market in 2007. Today, thousands of different e-cigarette or vape products make up what is a $9 billion a year business. As cigarette smoking has declined, big tobacco companies have jumped into the soaring vaping market. Last year, Altria poured almost $13 billion into Juul Labs. Since its launch in 2015, Juul has captured over 40% of the market. And Philip Furman.
Just sort of take me back to that moment. I assume you draw on it.
Yeah.
And you think...
The first puff, honestly, it tastes good. You can have your first time taste minty, it could taste fruity, taste like creme brulee, taste like whatever you really want it to.
A few weeks later, Philip bought his own Juul online.
The sales of e-cigarette things aren't really monitored on eBay to what age they're going to or who they're going to or whatever.
So you went on eBay and searched.
Juul starter kit. And a Juul came up, pack of pods, everything that I needed to start.
And once he started, he couldn't stop.
Can you point to the first moment you realized I'm addicted?
Probably sometime in the beginning of 9th grade when I first realized you just really need it. You feel like inside your body, like this is something you need to have.
We didn't fully see what was happening in the high schools and among kids. We started to get anecdotal evidence of this probably in early 2017, and then we had the National Youth Tobacco Survey data that showed us the dramatic increase.
Between 2017 and 2018, e-cigarette use increased by 78% among high school students and 48% among middle schoolers. By the end of 2018, more than 3.5 million American kids were vaping.
You've called it an epidemic, right?
Right.
Did you use that word lightly?
No, when that data was first unveiled to me, we were shocked. We knew immediately we had a tremendous public health problem on our hand.
A public health crisis sparked by an innovative e-cigarette upstart, as sleek, easy to use, and inconspicuous as a flash drive.
I think what we didn't anticipate was really Juul. The popularity of Juul among kids is really what changed the dynamic.
Can I hit your Juul? Like, do you have your Juul with you? Like, that's always like just like the cool thing to talk about.
Grace DeBono is a high school senior from Bloomfield Hills, Michigan. When she was 14 years old, she tried her older sister's Mod, an early boxy type of vape with a refillable tank. It didn't become a habit, but then, in the summer of 2017, Juuls appeared on the scene.
We went to a gas station, and my friend already bought one from the same gas station. So she's like, oh, I'll just go in and get it for you. But we were 15.
Right. But she went in.
And she came out with two Juuls.
It wasn't long before Grace picked up on one crucial difference between older vapes and the Juul.
It just made me feel like the nicotine levels in the Juul were just really high compared to the Mod.
Stanford professor Bonnie Halpern-Felsher studies teen e-cigarette use.
We really found that youth who are using Juuls are more addicted to the Juuls than they are reporting addiction for other products.
Really, why is that?
Well, the nicotine level in these Juul products is astronomically high.
In Juuls specifically?
In Juuls specifically. So a Juul pod is equivalent to 1.5 to 2 packs of cigarettes worth of nicotine.
Most e-cigarettes that predated the Juul had liquid, or e-juice, made up of 1 to 2% nicotine. Juuls came on the market at 5%.
It would always be in my hand, it would always just be with me, you know? And so I would always just hit it because it was just so easy.
It was the start of what her mom, Pam, calls the summer of Juul.
Then I started to find these green, small plastic covers everywhere. Didn't really have a clue what they were.
When you woke up in the morning, when was the first you'd hit it?
Right when I woke up in the morning, the first thing I did.
Grace was soon going through 1 Juul pod a day. At 200 puffs per pod, that's a puff every 5 minutes for 16 hours straight.
This is like at lunch?
Bathroom, in the hallway.
After school?
After school, before school, yeah.
She had terrible time with moodiness, with appetite. She started coughing, and we were really naive, I guess, and didn't put 2 and 2 together.
Philip plays tennis and basketball on his school teams, but the Juuling was starting to take a toll.
Whenever I'm walking upstairs or doing anything, I always think to myself, wow, how far am I going before I'm out of breath?
Mm-hmm. At home, both he and Grace played cat and mouse with their parents, who were hunting for and finding vaping paraphernalia.
I would lie to them and they would get off my back for a few weeks, a month, and they would see something or see it, and then my mom would just tear apart my whole room.
You discover these things in her room. Can you remember what that felt like?
It was awful. I felt really betrayed by my daughter and stupid and worried about her.
By then, Grace was vaping marijuana. Pam started drug testing her at home.
There's no specific type of kid who's juuling. It's not the risk takers, rebels, or whatever, people who are depressed. It's not a specific type of person. It's really just widespread. It's everybody.
I think the youth patterns are going to go up substantially again in 2019. There's nothing that I see that indicates to me that the youth use is going to flatten off or go down this year. It's going up.
With 20 to 25% of adolescents vaping, the trend is going to be hard to reverse.
You thought you were going to quit, and then you just go back to it, and it sucks because you have this kind of guilty feeling in yourself, I'm doing this again. Wow, I can't believe I'm this stupid.
I ruined my relationship with my parents. They lost their trust in me for a long, long time.
Grace doesn't own a Juul anymore, though she still vapes a couple of times a week. Philip hasn't touched a Juul for several months.
It's hard because I have wanted to just go out, get another Juul, get more pods, and just start all over again.
As teens and their families struggle, their addictions have helped make Juul Labs the giant of the vaping industry. And the company says it's not happy about it.
What will not allow us to succeed our mission if we do not ourselves and the industry crack the youth issue? It will be existential to the company and the category.
A rare look inside Juul, next.